A tough 3-day stretch here at home with a couple of losses to Valdosta State and West Florida. And, Coach, I was mentioning, it looked like in that second half there they had that stretch where they were really getting on the offensive glass, and then just overall their length and athleticism seemed to cause a lot of problems.
It did. And, I thought we did a decent job. We did a good job battling back after we got down 10, got it back to a one-possession game. And it wasn't just their offensive rebound. They got the kind of team that they could just break it down and go. They just went one-on-one and made some really tough plays. I mean, Dang was unbelievable. Yeah. He was unbelievable. I mean, but again, they had matchups. I mean, the thing we were trying to do with our offensive team to get our best zone offensive team in there against them. And when you do that, we were small at that position. We had some tough matchups. I thought Dang had some really tough shots. Yeah. I mean, defensively, I thought we had a hand up on him. And there was clearly times we broke down, like there always going to be. You don't want to have it ever, but he kind of took the game over on the offensive end when they really needed a big basket, and it's that makes it tough. And I just told our guys, these last two games we played teams that are right there with us, and obviously right now you have to say they're better than us right now, but we are nowhere near what we can be. We still have a lot of young people out there playing. We got to get Luke Rudy going again. We got to get him back in the flow. He's been out for almost a month. You get some of those things going. Luke was 0 for 4 from 3. You get Luke back to what he was doing before Christmas when we were on that run. He's going to make 2 or 3 of them. And if he makes 2 or 3 of them at the time he took them, it changes the complexion of the game. I mean, you keep them away from getting to that point. Jeff had a rough night shooting. I mean, it's hard. It's going to be hard for us to beat a really good team when he goes 1 for 7 from 3, when he goes 3 for 13. That's just tough. I mean, it's not. And again, I stress, I'm not saying that to be down on Jeff. I mean, Jeff's going to come through for us. He's been making big plays and been a winner for us for 3.5 years now. We're gonna stick with that, and but when it happens, and it happens to the best of them, it just makes it tough. I mean, and Joe got hot, but I mean, even for Joe, I mean, 5 for 14 from 3 is not lights out. And again, you got to give those guys some credit. Adam, has finally gotten a few of the threes falling and made some big plays. We got to continue. I thought there were a lot of times in critical situations when Adam was open in the low post and we just didn't recognize. And the thing is, so many times it's not about that he's going to score. It's about getting it to him, because everything comes from that. They got to make their decision. Do they want to help down? If they help down, then they're going to give us a better 3 than a lot of the times that I felt like, like, again, Jeff, for example, I thought a couple of Jeff's early ones, I thought he really was kind of off balance. He had to hurry a little bit. There were opportunities where I thought we could have driven. But, again, when you get it into Adam and get that action, then you got a chance to get a really clean 3.
But a lot of those, because we weren't able to get it in there to start, then it was just around the perimeter. And then all of a sudden there was a shot clock winding down situations where you end up having to force.
In all fairness, too, Jeff had to take a couple of those that are going to knock his numbers down, and that was part of that. But again, to me, the shot clock situation were times, again, where I thought earlier in the possession we could have gotten it inside, and things come from that. And that zone, I mean, they did a nice job in their zone, but it was open. The high post was open some, and we know that as much zone as we're playing, we know the vulnerabilities of getting it there, and we look right at it and don't throw it there. We pop the ball around the perimeter too much and hold it too much. And again, these are all things we know. Our second team knows it really well because they're playing against the zone all the time. It's frustrating, but there's a lot of, if you go down the players, Mitch Mays is capable of a lot more than he's doing, and I mean, I'm sure he would think, hey, I need more minutes to do it, but when you get the minutes, you got to step in there and do it. I mean, I told Mitch, he said he passed up a couple of threes that I thought if you're going to get to where you can contribute for us the way you need to. Now, I will say in fairness, a couple of times I thought when he caught it, I thought shoot it, and he passed it to another guy that was open. So you can't argue with that to a more experienced guy that's playing more. So I can't argue with that. But I wish he'd get a little more confident about pulling the trigger and get his game confidence, because that's a player that we need to step up and start doing more. It's tough. I mean, because we're struggling, but part of the struggle is who we're playing. I mean, these are good teams. Obviously, they were both winnable games. Saturday was much more. Obviously a lot. Saturday we should have won. We had that 8-point lead late in the game and just didn't make plays, and that's a big part of it. I mean, you're going to win big games. Big players got to make big plays, and they made them tonight, and we didn't. In a lot of cases, we didn't. So,
one thing that continues to be impressive is the turnover number. You only had 6 turnovers. That's against a good athletic team. That they've got some speed. They can cause you some issues. And they force 18 turnovers a game, which is number 1 in the conference. Right. You only turned over 6 times. So you're really limiting that number every single night and giving yourself those extra possessions.
Right. And you think about a couple that we had. They were just complete slop.
There's 2 shot clock violations out of that, too.
I mean, and there were just a couple of them, and those shot clock violations are slop because players got to know. You get a pass and you got 5 seconds on the clock, and they're making an extra pass to something. It's one thing if you attack and make an extra pass, but a lot of times we're just we got it on the wing, and there's 5 seconds on the clock, and you got to recognize it. And you got to create, or you got to try to get a little space and take the shot when you had it, and we just throw another pass to a guy that's on the perimeter, and now that guy's got it, and he's got 3 less seconds. And that's where it came back to Jeff a couple times. Like, what are you supposed to do now? You can't create anything. So, again, I mean, like you said, only 6 turnovers is not bad, but, I think about a couple of the careless ones that we had don't help.
So now you got to go out on the road. And it's the games are getting all really important right now because you don't want to give any more ground.
Wake up. Yeah, I mean we're in a position now, and I told them, guys, it's not time to panic, but it is critical for this team, and I told them collectively, but also individually, because I feel like clearly that our best 3 players right now are Jeff, Adam, and Joe. And they're going to play. They're going to play a lot of minutes night in, night out. I think Brad's contributions have been pretty consistent. I'm looking for consistency from some of these other guys, and they need to. We need to get some people to step up and give us a little more consistency from some of those other spots and give us those minutes. Hopefully, we'll start getting that from Luke again, and I'm thinking of it more from off the bench for him. And face it, Brad's been off the bench, and and I'm kind of cool with continuing to do that. I like giving Cody and Alex a chance to make some things happen early in the game. The other thing I told our guys, these 2 teams right now are clearly the top 2 teams in the league. The rest of the league, we're either right there with them or we're ahead of them. We're and therefore these next 11 games we have 6 at home, 5 on the road. If we just, I think we could do what we did the first 11. We're playing a lot of teams that were better than. It's just 6 at home. The 5 road games. We're looking at Montevallo. We're looking at West Al, which is going to be they're both tough games. All these road games are tough. Lee beat this team, but Lee and Shorter. These are games that we got to start taking control of. We got to get fooling around, and quite frankly, even the 11-game winning streak to start the season, we fooled around with a lot of teams that we're 10, 15, 20 points better than, and we just didn't get it done. And that was the thing that was concerning me all year, that I just never felt like, even when we were winning and obviously feeling good about that, it felt great being 11-0 at Christmas, I just didn't feel like we were beating people consistently the way we needed to be. I felt like maybe 3 or 4 of those 11 were games where I left feeling like, boy, we played well tonight. We really played near our potential. More times than not, we fooled around with people, and we'd get a lead, we'd get 10 or 12 points ahead, and then let them back in the game. It just happened time and time again, and we're not going to beat teams like this if we have those dry spells like we've been kind of having all year.
All right, Coach. Well, hopefully put these behind you. The game coming up Thursday, as you said, at Montevallo, and hopefully get back on the winning track.
Yeah, we need to get on. We need to get that one, and if we can, the other thing, if we could somehow get on this road trip, take care of business, then we come back home, and that 6-5 becomes 6-3. We're going to be looking at 9 games to go. So, a week from now, things can look a whole lot better for us. And we talked about this earlier. We talked about it after the last game. The way this NCAA regional thing is starting to shake, 3rd place in the Gulf South is going to be critical. and it's going to be critical from the standpoint of seeding and having a home game, putting us in a position. The thing we don't want to have to do is have to play these teams at home. So if we can finish and finish in the top 3, top 4, when we really want to finish in the top 3, and we're going to be battling. Delta's been on a good run, but we have a win on the road against them. We can get them at home. We'll have the hammer on them. We need to take care of Huntsville here. We need to take care of West Al. If we can do that, we can put ourselves in a pretty strong, at minimum, 3rd spot. And you never know. You win a couple of these teams got tough games. They got to play each other. It's not that saying we couldn't catch them, but right now, we need to focus on that. If we can finish there, it's going to put us in a good spot in the region. It's going to put us where we're going to. We're going to have a home game again in the tournament, and be able to go to Birmingham with a chance to probably play one of these 2 teams in the semifinals. But I'll take, give us another month and a half to get our act together. Hopefully, get these younger players playing a little bit better, more consistently. And also for me, figure out, okay, these are the 7 guys that need to be playing. You look at them, and people want to talk about minutes and stuff. I mean, this team is leading the league right now, and you look at the minutes their guys play. A lot of people want to whine all the time.
They basically play 6 guys.
They play
other guys play a total of 12 minutes between
6 guys, and 4 of them essentially played the whole game.
Yeah.
Basically played the whole, and if you look at their game at Union the other night, it was the same thing, only they only played 7 guys. So, the whole 9, 10 players thing, you play 8, 9, 10 players when you don't have people in the first 6 or 7 stepping up and giving you what you need. And that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for a couple of these guys to step up from our 4 to 9 spot right now. I'm looking for some of them to step up and start doing things consistently, night in, night out, and that involves offense and defense.
Yeah.
I mean, Cody, the one thing, you know what you're going to – Cody's consistent. I mean, the problem when we're struggling offensively is why his minutes have fallen a little bit. We were struggling the other day on offense, struggling somewhat today, and we're playing against the zone. So that's the part of me thinking. But then, toward the end of the game, I thought, you know what, we're not going after the glass hard. And I'll take Cody going in there scrapping and fouling a couple of times over somebody standing out watching it.
Yeah.
And, so that was my challenge to all of our players is, hey, start doing the things consistently from the standpoint of your defense, and you're attacking the glass. When Joe takes a 3, don't stand there and watch it. And then get your tail in here, get on that gun, and get shots up. Because, again, what's going to make the difference whether Luke winds up playing more minutes or Mitch winds up playing more minutes or Alex, who earlier in the year was making more shots. Hey, if one of them starts making shots, they're going to play.
Exactly.
They're going to play, because they're going to be open. That's who they're leaving. They're not going to, they weren't leaving Joe. I mean, we still got Joe shots, but I mean, even their fans are screaming, "Don't leave 11! Don't leave 11!" He's bringing us back in the game. Well, guess what? That means other people are going to be open, and then you got to have other people, and they're not leaving Jeff. So other guys have got to step up and hit those shots because they're there. They're there for the taking. So hopefully, but one thing I guarantee you, and again, like I said, we got young guys. We were kidding. I mean, I'm probably more sure about my starting lineup in 3 years right now than I am about what we're doing sometime, even the starting lineup right now, because we were kidding at the restaurant the other night. We're walking, I go, look at the freshmen and sophomores, and we got 5 of them that are playing. That are getting quality minutes, and I'm like, that's probably our starting lineup in 2 years. Yeah. When this junior and senior class is gone, and I'm like, it's kind of funny. I've got more of an idea about where we're going to be because I'm looking at these guys, but I need those guys. We need, as a collective team, we need some of those guys to step up and start bringing it. Well, hopefully that starts on Thursday. Okay, we're going to keep plugging. We're going to keep plugging. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Eli.